Okay, so I'll do this again. It's been a while since I put this up. Years ago, I put it up, but I want to talk about the Department of Youth Services in Columbus, Ohio, and some of the institutions that they had for children back in the 80s and 70s, 80s, and 90s. But this one is called the Training Institute of Central Ohio. It was a maximum security prison for juvenile offenders that had high felonies. And I spent time there in the early 80s because I was just incorrigible. I'll tell you, I wouldn't listen to nothing until I got the help. But anyways, the Training Institute of Central Ohio was located at 2130 West Broad Street in Columbus, Ohio. It says that this is T.I.C.O from the air, but this is actually the cemetery. You see the stones right here? And you can see the back part of the fence, the razor wire fence, before they close it down. And this is the road that they would travel, security would travel along, armed security would travel along. T.I.C.O actually stood for the Training Institute of Central Ohio, which used to be a juvenile detention center, a stone's throw away from the old asylum. We could see the Hilltop Asylum. It was called TCY, and the criminally insane juveniles were put there. It was built in the late 1950s, and if I remember correctly, it went through a lot of changes before becoming more of a facility for less serious offenders. No. Thanks to the commenters pointing out whatever I was read, apparently not true. This was always a facility for serious offenders. And it was. You know, there was a serial killer that did time in there, Glenn Rogers. Scott Creech was there. I mean, any juvenile crime that made national news in Ohio or anything like that, he went there. And, you know, it was really... This is the entrance, and I remember it. I remember the entrance because I went back to. I went back after I got out because I had to pick up my high school diploma from there, and some of the credits that I got from the schooling. I had to literally pick it up from there, and we had to go into the front door right there. And these are actually nurses and the administration's offices right here. Yeah, but I can still remember that plain as day pulling up right there after I had gotten out. But what they're talking about mainly in this article is these graves that are found around there. And like this one, female 709. It's always been said that there were experiments done on the kids in there. Some of them didn't make it. Kids beaten to death, you know, and that's what they think. So they tore this place down, and like I said, now it's a Department of Transportation. But you can read on through here, and none of these graves have really been spoke about. I mean, I have reached people that had done time in there before, and we talked about doing a class action lawsuit. And I actually went back to the Department of Youth Services after I got out of there, and I was talking to people about some of the abuses. I can tell you that what happened to me in there is I was in a 4-man dorm, and the guy next to me just wouldn't shut the fuck up one night. And he just kept on, and I was trying to sleep. So I said it loud enough for everybody to hear. Dude, if you don't shut the fuck up. You know, he was just singing to himself and doing some stupid shit. But anyways, the guy shut up. Right? But the guard came back there, and he's at the door, and he's like, what's the problem in here? I said, dude won't shut the fuck up, man. And this guard jumped. I was half asleep. He jumped onto my bed. I was probably about, I don't know, I think I was probably 15, 16. He jumped onto my bed and just started pounding me in the face with his flashlight. I still got a scar from it to this day. And he started pounding me in the face with his flashlight, and I got him a couple times in the chin, and he threw me off the bed and onto the ground, and he literally dragging me up to. He's trying to drag me up to the front the office part. All the other kids in there were screaming and hollering at him, but anyways, I got away from him, and I shoved him off of me, and then he slammed me back down on the ground again. Had his foot in my throat and was kicking me with the other one. But anyways, two of the other staff broke it up, and they took me out to the hospital. And after that, we did bring him up. I did, reach out and bring him. His name is Erlander Motley, and I did bring him up on charges. I went to court, but the charges didn't stick. The charges did not stick. All right, so he got out of the assault charge, but we went and I had to talk to the head of the DYS. The guy did lose his job over it, but he should have been charged. He should have been charged. I still got a scar on my face from that flashlight to this day. But inside of that place, I also did time in adult prison, and that was the worst place. I had never seen. It was just you had to fight for every fucking thing in there. Every damn thing. I had one guy. He's doing life in prison right now in Lucasville because he killed 2 or 3 people. His name is Clifton Cousins. Oh, he's just lovely. 119 days out of Cleveland. This is right after he got out. And see, he burnt the house down with the bodies in it. And he's just lovely. He ain't never getting out. Let's see. Oh, so they took him out of Lucasville. Now he's up in Toledo. Mr. Cousins. I remember him. I wrote him a letter and let him know how good life was. See, this is how I win. See, this is never going to happen. And there's your Clifton Cousins. Bitch ass. Bitch ass. Look him up on the Ohio Offender Search. He threatened the president back then. Anyways, we're just sitting up there at med call. I was up there to get some medicine for allergies or something like that, whatever it was. And we're sitting there at med hall, and you have to wait. They put you in this little area once you get done with med hall, and you have to wait for a CO to come pick you up so you can go back down them long ass hallways that they have over there. And I'm sitting in there, and this guy Cousins, he goes, "We get down that hallway, I'm gonna turn you out." I didn't know him, didn't know who he was. I just looked at him, so he did. And when we're getting out of the hallway, we're getting in the line. He turns around and I'm gonna turn you out right now. We used to have these little plastic jackets that they would let us, because them hallways were cold. They had little thin windows and they were cold. But he's jumping around. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna turn you out." And I seen him grab his jacket to open it up, and both his hands were holding. He's trying to get his jacket off. And when he opened it up, that's the only shots that I had. So I took it to his rib and up to his chin, and then I grabbed him and slammed him down, on the ground. He got up and he got me a couple times, but he did the same shit again with his coat, tried to open it up. You leave yourself wide open when you do that. So anyways, I ended up lighting this guy up, and I beat the living fire out of him for that. And they say here, the COs really didn't mess with you too much in there, because I had a security guard named Blake that was bringing me cigarettes. There was Finney Frock, who would bring you alcohol, weed. I was there when Bill Ziegler, he was an inmate. He had one of the counselors, Shirley Dupler, help him escape. Yeah, just looking at some of the newspaper articles from the Ohio Youth Commission and stuff like that from the early 70s on. Lack of treatment. T.I.C.O. They tried it. That's a girl's DYS. It's still there. You see, when I was at another place, I was at Boys Village in Worcester, Ohio for quite a while. And they would take us down to T.I.C.O so we could have dances with them girls. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, I actually got out of prison right before they banned cigarettes, which made it worse for the inmates in there. Now, the Fairfield School for Boys, actually Charles Manson did time there. Inmates say life in state youth facilities inhumane, seek change for the better, warned that they may become worse criminals. This is in 92. I don't really, I mean, I might pick this whole thing up and get that and check on that and see what that's about, because there is no rehabilitation in any of them. Yeah, these are just a lot of escapes trying to get up out of them places. There's not much more about T.I.C.O in here. They kind of hush the whole T.I.C.O thing. Yeah, they call it Scioto Village. From there, in the early 80s, and they were having this love affair thing, but he was basically just banging her so he could help her escape. And they caught him. And that lady, years later, Shirley Dupler, she came up missing without a trace. Just nobody ever knew what happened to her. Let's see what else happened in there. I was there when Todd Marshall and Fred Puckett escaped. I was there when Bill Blevins escaped. But that place was, it was madness. And you really had to be on the ball. It was worse than any adult prison. But there were kids in there getting beat on. And there were kids in there, that just one day you don't see them again. Didn't know anything about their release. But when I went back up to DYS to talk to him, because we didn't know how long it could be for a class action lawsuit. But actually, we can't do it now. But I've been over the years trying to gather people that spent time in there to get them to speak, and I'm just now starting to get some responses on it since T.I.C.O was brought up. Like Sully felt like she found something. Oh, you tell them about T.I.C.O? Yeah, T.I.C.O was a bad fucking place. Yeah, it was a bad place, and the Department of Youth Services in Ohio should be ashamed of their place. And what was that show with that Stephen King movie with Kevin Bacon in it, where he was like this weird ass freaky guard? That place was sort of like that. I mean, you had to fight for everything. I had a guy when I was first in, I'd only been there 2 or 3 weeks, and the place they really want to test you out is in the chow hall. This guy's name was Terry Choate, and he was from Columbia. Big old black guy. Yeah, I mean, he was big. He had, not big fat. I mean, he just had arms on him that looked like turkey legs. Yeah, but he's sitting across from me at the chow hall, and he just reaches on my plate and grabs a tater tot, looking right at me, chewing on it. And everybody's waiting to see what you're going to do. That's when you get hoe checked, is in the cafeteria usually, because people take your tray. So he was checking me, and I knew I had to do something, and I knew I'd have something. If I didn't, I'd have it coming from everybody else. So I said, "Was that good?" And he goes, "Yeah." He was starting to say, "Yeah, I think I'll take your whole tray." And when he was reaching over there, I took the whole tray and flipped it up in his face, and then jumped up, took off, running out. He couldn't catch me, but chow was over for 80 inmates. It was over. I said, "If I don't eat, you won't eat." And it shut. So they were more mad at Terry at Choate than they were at me. But nobody else ever checked me in the hallway again. Choate, he was cool with me after that. He gave me a little bit of shit after that. But, you even had to fight for your food and that. But it really made you, it made you hate people. If you know how evil people are. These people that worked in there would bring their shit from outside in there, take it out on us. We couldn't, there's nothing we could do about it. But this, like I said, this is the back part of it. And these are these graves, these unmarked graves that are in the back of this place that nobody's ever, they don't want to discuss it. They tore the place down. Now this is, they say that this is the entrance, but it's not the entrance. This is the exit. And when you're getting released, this is where you come out, right here. Because I remember that sign right there on my last day out. I remember that exact sign on the way out. And they took me back down to Columbus, to the Greyhound bus station. And I got a ride on a Greyhound back to Dayton. But I remember that sign. And he says it's the entrance, but it's not. Now, from back here, you can see a little bit of the yard. This is probably had to have been right before they tore it down, because this all used to be razor wire. Right? And if anybody that's been in this yard, they'll realize this is where we go out, right here. But they also had other doors right here, so you can come out straight from the units. But this is where everybody, we'd come down these long ass hallways, and we'd come out this door. And this yard is bigger than what it looked. But this right here is the gym and the chapel. You can come out this way to the yard from the gym and the chapel too. And basically, you can probably fit 200 or 300 inmates out there at a time. Yeah, but the barbed wire fence is gone in this picture, but it used to have one, a huge one. And there was a guy named Dennis Stacy that hit that barbed wire fence while everybody was out in the yard. He got sliced up all to hell, but he made it. He got over it. And it took him about 3 months to catch it. That's the front entrance again. And like I said, I remember it. Yeah, this is just another back part of the yard. He didn't get very good pictures of it. Yeah, this is a really good picture. This is the gym part of it, but the back part of the yard. I wish them fences were still up. And this is the graveyard that he's going in. He's looking at the graveyard. That's the part of the graveyard. And they would tell us, you'll end up a specimen. They would threaten us like that. But see, a lot of these they think are kids that were experiments were done on them with medications and stuff like that. I know that they tried a lot of that shit on me with the Thorazine and the Mellaril and the Ritalin and all that shit, but I would refuse to take it. You'd have to. I figured out how to get them to stick at the top of my mouth because they give you the medicine and you had to open up your mouth and show them that you took it. I could get it to stick up behind my teeth and then I'd spit it out. I don't want none of that shit. Yeah, that place is craziness. Those are just specimens. Like I said, that's a female. Now, the females would come from Scioto Village. Right across the street from T.I.C.O was Buckeye Youth Center. There's another one over there, too, for the criminally insane. Yeah, but I know about reform and I know about rehabilitation. And one of the reasons that I'm into true crime and stuff like that is because I know what can happen to you when you go inside one of these places by the people that work there. You know, you don't come out of this rehabilitated. You do not come out of T.I.C.O rehabilitated. That's why they tore it down and they don't want to talk about it no more. DYS does not even want to talk about the place. But you don't come out of here that way. You come out of here, you fucking hate people. You don't put up with any type of disrespect from nobody because they've instilled it into you that if you take disrespect from people, you're a bitch. You learn how to fight or flight, or you get your ass whooped on a regular basis. This was worse than that when like I said, I did time at CRC and Pickaway, a little bit at Orient, and I was in there with killers, and it wasn't as bad as this. They make people fucking crazy. This place does make people crazy. Now, for me, though, I had to work my way out of this. You know, the stuff that it did to me. I'm not going to live under their fucking trauma for the rest of my life. It's not going to happen to me because of some of these people. I'd like to find some of these people that worked in there and fucking put a bullet in their head. That's a thought. That's just a thought. I remember specifically some of their names and some of the shit they would do. I remember simply exactly what they would do. When a staff has you by the throat up against the wall because you knocked the fuck out of somebody that was fucking with you, and he has you up against the throat by your throat up against the wall and is letting that other guy pop you a couple times because you're a different race. They want you to be racist. They try to make you racist. You know, I had some black guy talking shit to me, and I popped him a couple times for it, and the CO, big guy, had me up against the wall on my throat and let him pop me a couple times. What a fucking bitch ass. But no, that doesn't make me a racist. That just shows that guy, his name is Phil Howard, he's from Columbus. That guy is a pussy. Doesn't have anything to do with his race. That guy's a pussy. Now, the CO might have been a little racist, but they say black folks can't be racist. That's a bunch of shit. You will not make me racist towards people because I saw what they did to people in here that were black, Mexican. You know, we're all people. I'm kind of glad I had to go through some of this shit. You know, but that place was horrible. Let me see. Yeah, but that's what the Training Institute of Central Ohio is. Yeah, I had 11 felonies on me when I went in there. I spent about a year there, a little more than a year. And after that CO jumped on me and did all that stuff, they knew that I was ready to sue. Some of the teachers that worked there at C. Arthur Wilson High School, it was a regular high school, but it was inside the facility. It was at Columbus High School. They took me to the side and got pictures of me and got my statements. And once they found out that I was prepared to sue, they brought me up to the administrator's office. And they already talked to my mother, and I wish she wouldn't have done this. But they released me, and I should have been in there another year or so. But they were really nice to me, and blah, blah, blah. They did something with the courts. The courts allowed them to drop my sentence and get me out of there. and I had some serious crimes under my belt. So after I went up there and talked to them, they let me out. Tried to go back to DYS and speak to them years later. But I tell you what, that's about like going into a police department and trying to file a complaint against an officer. I felt like I wasn't going to be able to leave that fucking building after I got done talking to them. But yeah, there is a group on Facebook. You know, I've reached some of these other people that it's traumatized a lot of people. But it ain't traumatized me none. It just made me realize how fucked up and shitty people really are. You know? Fucked up. A guy come in, come into work there. He's bringing all that bullshit. You know, it's usually some punk, you know, that always got beat up or something. And he can come in here and take it out on us. You know? But most of the time I wouldn't have it. I seen a couple guards, a couple COs get fucked up for messing with the wrong people. You know? I seen one CO, but they took our pool tables from us after that, though. But he got hit right in the head with a cue ball. But he pushed the guy. Yeah, you talk about hateful. Talk about a hateful ass fucking place. Training Institute of Central Ohio, 2130 West Broad Street. We remember coming up to 70 when they were first taking us to T.I.C.O, the bus that takes you. You could see it from the freeway. It was about right in here. Yeah, you can see it from the freeway coming in. And you come up and come up right through here to the Platte, the Buckeye Parkway. Let's see what we got here. Not sure where we are exactly. But yeah, this is Rhodes Park. I want to get out to Broad Street. Because I remember the way in and out. I only saw the way in once and the way out once. And then we went back up to gather up some of my... Okay, so this is Broad Street. Yeah, so... Let's do it this way. Okay, so that's what it is now. Ohio Department of Transportation. So this right here is where the criminally insane building was at one point. And T.I.C.O was actually right here. Kind of glad they tore it down in the Hell House. And then the back of it, back here, I don't know how, I doubt it's going to let me go back there. Yeah, but that's T.I.C.O now. 2130 West Broad Street. Yeah, but see, the 70 would be right here. T.I.C.O was actually more... Yeah, T.I.C.O was actually right there where... Because I remember seeing this. Those, we could see these tree lines from the yard. And when we're out on the yard, which would have been... Yeah, the yard would have been more like right here. T.I.C.O was kind of more up into this area more. Because when we were out in the yard, we could see the freeway. But the graveyard that they're talking about... We can see that track too from T.I.C.O. The graveyard they were talking about is the end of this freeway. I don't know if they removed the graveyard at all. It used to be over in this area here. It used to be over in here. State New Insane Cemetery. Okay, let's see. This, I think this is Buckeye Youth Center still. But they think there's kids buried in there from BYS. They always have. What is this? I think this is Buckeye Youth Center here. Get a razor wire. They won't let you go back that way. They don't let you get too close to it either with Google Maps. But I think that's what that is. Another place that isn't good for kids. Even if you're, if you're causing trouble or whatever, you have to be punished for it, but not like that. Hang on. Let's see what this is. Is this the place for criminally insane now? Yeah, they changed that to some kind of forensic center. But it used to be Buckeye Youth Center. And there was Indian Lake, Scioto Village.